It's surprising that such a popular method can cause my hair to drastically change, both in good and bad ways. Has the curly girl method stopped working for you too? It can be quite confusing because it was working well for such a long time, but I'm sharing the changes that I made to get my curls back. Although the curly girl method is great and I do recommend it and it works really well for a lot of hair types, after 2 years, my hair just wasn't the same. It was dull, it was stretched out, and my scalp was really angry. If you keep watching, I'll share how you can get your curls back on track. Hi, I'm Delilah from the Holistic Enchilada, and I share tips, tricks, and resources to help you embrace your curls and keep things simple. You can head to my blog, holisticenchilada.com, for lots more free resources, and subscribe to this channel for more videos on simplified curly hair care. If you're new here, you may not know that I started out my curly hair journey with the curly girl method over 10 years ago. I was living abroad at the time and I was pretty strict with following the whole no shampoo, conditioner only. I couldn't access Curly Girl approved products because in the country I was living in, they just didn't have them. And I wasn't willing to pay for the astronomical shipping at the time to bring things over from the US. But when I did come back to the US in 2013, I started following the Curly Girl method more closely with like approved products. And I did that for about 2 years before I decided to change things. So in the beginning, before starting the Curly Girl method, my hair, it's always been curly, but it was really damaged. I had straightened it using a hair dryer and a straightening iron for many years, from the time that I was in high school through to my mid-20s, so at least 10 years. And because I lived in Miami at the time, this was something I had to do every day. I would straighten my hair and I would wash it maybe after 3 to 4 days, but I still had to use the iron every day because it was so humid and it rains every day, so it would get ruined all the time. And I was slathering tons of products on my hair, just trying to tame it and keep it from getting frizzy. In the heat, it was really pointless because it's just so humid there and it's always raining that my hair just never really lasted a long time. But I didn't know how to embrace my curls. I just didn't know how to wear my hair curly in a way that looked good. Whenever I tried, my curls just looked really stringy, they were crunchy, they looked wet, and it just didn't look nice. So I avoided it. I assumed I just had frizzy, puffy hair, needed to be straightened. So once I started the Curly Girl method and I stopped using heat styling and I was using conditioner only, it really helped to revive the health of my hair. My curls were so damaged, and so this surge of moisture that I was providing with the conditioner and then cutting off the heat styling really helped my hair heal. And so for the 3 years that I was abroad, I didn't really heat style very much and I used conditioner all the time. And so my curls, they were thirsty, they were damaged. This was great for them. By the time I came back to the US, my hair was a little bit healthier, but the curl pattern was still kind of damaged. And then I did other aspects of the Curly Girl method and I was able to use like the Curly Girl approved products. So within a year, my hair changed drastically. And my curl pattern went from like a 2B to 2C, 3A. My curls were shiny, they were nice and clumpy like this. I had never been able to get that before. And they would last longer than a day because in the beginning of my journey, I would style my hair curly and it looked good only that one day. It never looked good past that day. So I was constantly putting my hair up. So after that first, I think it was about 2 years, at the 2-year mark, I started noticing that my hair, it had started off like in bad damage. It got better and then it was kind of like changing. So it was like really weighed down all the time. It was really stretched out. I saw that the curl pattern was becoming more wavy instead of more curly, and my scalp had a lot of flakes. It was really itchy. I felt like I had to wash my hair all the time. And so then I decided maybe I need to reintroduce shampoo, and I started using like Curly Girl approved shampoo. Things got a little better. As I learned more, I started clarifying. So I realized the first time I clarified, my hair looked amazing. It was bouncy again, it was shiny. I got a cast, which I typically don't get, but that time I did. And I just noticed a lot of positive things with my hair, things that I hadn't seen in a while. And I realized that doing the Curly Girl method, following the Curly Girl method at this point wasn't exactly working anymore because my hair was different. It really didn't need all of that moisture. So I ditched co-washing and I started using Curly Girl approved shampoos, and I started clarifying every other month, basically, with a strong shampoo. And over time, I've actually gone away from that and I clarify even more often. I do live in an area with hard water now. I didn't before. So I noticed the effects of the hard water on my hair. It's really bad. So I'm clarifying all the time, sometimes weekly. And I use really strong shampoos now compared to before. However, my hair has changed. And so this is the main reason why I stopped following the curly girl method. I noticed my hair changed and it wasn't working anymore. And so now my hair has always been fine, but at this point it wasn't dry anymore. It was no longer damaged. So I didn't need to be doing masks and treatments and conditioner at all. I just needed regular conditioner. And even with time, I noticed that my hair really preferred lightweight products. It would last longer if I used lightweight products. I had more volume, it felt better, and it wouldn't get so weighed down. So, you know, a lot of the curly girl method stuff it's heavy on the moisture, and that just wasn't working for my hair. So, you know, that whole clarifying thing that I did was like a big light bulb moment that I had, where I realized maybe all these aspects of the curly girl method need to change a little bit for me. So the main change there was to move away from heavy moisture products to lightweight products and to clarify more often. And as I learned more about curly hair, I learned that my hair now, and it has been this for the last couple of years, is medium to high porosity. It's more medium porosity now. It used to be high porosity. I used to bleach and dye it, but haven't done that in years. It is fine and it is low density. It was more medium, but I've actually been thinning recently, so low density. And when you've got fine, low density hair, you really need to be careful with the amount of moisture that you're putting into your hair because it really weighs it down, especially when it's healthy and it doesn't need all that moisture. So being also high to medium porosity, it's accepting moisture very easily. It's not like low porosity hair that you need to, it struggles to absorb the moisture. I don't have that problem. So really learning about my own hair was key because not everything in the curly girl method will apply to every curl type. And that was something that I didn't know at the beginning. I just assumed works on all curly hair, but not all curly hair is the same. So I advise, if you're in this situation where the curly girl method was working for you and now it's not, key here is that it did work at one time, not that you just started and it's not working. I'll have a video for that next time. But if you've been doing it, it's working, now it's not working, then really try to learn more about your own hair and what your hair needs, and then modify the curly girl method for you, for your own hair. Now, the other thing was scalp buildup, and this is why I have introduced stronger shampoos over time. Well, one reason, but my scalp, in the past, I've had dandruff like when I was younger, and it had gone away, and I noticed that I was having flakes again. It was itching all the time. And so once I started using a clarifying shampoo, like the first time I used it, it felt so much better. And the more I used it, the more I noticed a difference. And so once I started using stronger shampoos, that itchiness, that flaking went away. I will say it's back now, but I think it's something else. I don't think it's the same. And I'll probably talk about that another time. However, using the shampoos and ditching the co-washing really, really helped with the scalp issues that I was having. I wasn't getting any more of, it was like painful. Sometimes like I would like touch it and rub it and it hurt. So all that went away. And really it was the whole clarifying thing that was like the light bulb moment for me. Kind of led to all these other changes that I made. So the rules of the curly girl method that I did continue to follow was avoiding silicones because they were too heavy for my hair. Water soluble silicones seemed to work fine for me. I avoided regular towels because that did cause frizz, so I did use t-shirts. That was working well. I continued to avoid drying alcohols. I didn't want to dry out my hair. I continued to avoid brushing. I pretty much always finger detangle, and I still do. I don't have a lot of hair though, so I know that's not really possible for everybody. If you've got a lot of hair and it tangles easily, then this finger detangling is gonna be a struggle, or even using a wide tooth comb is gonna be a struggle. So that's one of the things with the curly girl method that I think needs modification. The other thing is heat styling. I did try air drying for a while and it just wasn't working for me. My hair stayed wet for hours. It was so stretched out and didn't last. I noticed that whenever I diffused, my hair turned out better and it lasted longer. Now, really, really strict curly girl method, probably no diffusing, but diffusing doesn't cause heat damage. When you're talking about heat damage, this is like using a curling wand, a straightening iron, or straightening your hair with heat. Like that's different than using a diffuser. It's not damaging your hair, especially if you're using a lower heat setting. So I wouldn't consider that heat styling anyway, but some people get a little confused about that. I always did, and still do diffuse my hair to dry it. And then the other don't for curly girl method is dyeing your hair. I had already stopped doing highlights, and I haven't dyed or done anything since then. So that wasn't really something that I needed to change. Moral of the story is, if the curly girl method was working for you and it's not now, I would pause and really think about what has changed. Write down how your hair is different now than it used to be, what is it doing differently, and kind of try to figure out what it is that's causing that. Is it too much moisture? Is it the fact that you are not clarifying? Is it the no brushing that you're struggling with? Is it specific to the weather, humidity, or something like that, frizz? What's the difference that's happening? And try to figure out what the cause is, and possibly maybe some modification to the curly girl method would help you. If your hair is really healthy, I don't think that you need to continue following the curly girl method. I feel like if your hair is really damaged, it's really great to rehab it and bring it back. But once you've figured out your hair and you have figured out what you like to do, and you kind of have a better idea of how to care for your hair and products in general and techniques, I think it's safe to move away from it and just do whatever it is that works for your hair. If this video was helpful, you should watch my video all about tips and tricks for fine, low density hair. So this is why I stopped following the curly girl method. Let me know in the comments if you've been in this situation before, if the curly girl method stopped working for you. If you, on the other hand, are trying to get the curly girl method to work and you can't get it to work, it's just not working for you at all, then next week I'm gonna have a video just for you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time.